Hello and welcome to the Astroflower, and this is going to be a reading for the eclipse that is coming up on the 30th of April, and it's going to be leading into the monthly reading. So basically, if you don't know anything about eclipses, basically it's when the moment, obviously, when the moon goes in front of the sun, and it's in the perfect position where you can have a full eclipse or partial eclipse and stuff like that. And what we got coming up on the 30th of April during Taurus season is a partial eclipse, and it's going to be in the Antarctic region and in South America. So going up and touching basically the root chakra. So it appears to be sort of like, playing on anything that's connected to your roots. And usually when eclipse happens, so magnetically what happens is it acts a little bit like a focal lens for the Earth. So it creates this magnetic pull even more towards the sun, which is going to pull the Earth's energy and make it a little bit more sort of accentuated across the board and heighten those elements that are within all of our flowers. So our astroflowers, that is. So it makes this, it pulls it like a magnet, if you like. And in so many cultures, it's been tied into auspicious occasions. People sort of prophesize with it and etc. Certainly, people see it as a changing moment between two periods. But this year is a little bit special. It's quite nice. It's quite interesting. First things first, we have that partial eclipse on the 30th of April, which is in the Taurus season, and we'll be going into the elements a little bit on that. And also, there is just after that, on May the 15th, I think it is, or the 16th actually, is a total lunar eclipse, which is from the blood moon as well, the fire moon, as it were, the blood moon, the red moon, which is coming up also in Taurus season. Then we have another eclipse, and this time it's total eclipse, and it's up in the region of Russia. You're going to be able to see it also if you're in Eastern Europe and Northern Eastern Europe, and also in the UK. You should be able to see part of it. Please go and check out on the internet exactly just sort of where you are. I don't have the maps at hand, but yeah, it roughly goes into there. But that's funny enough because that's on the 25th of October, so that's in Scorpio season. Now, if you know anything about the Astroflower, if you don't, go down in the links below. You can discover a lot about the Astroflower, about the petals, about the elements, and about the qualities, and how it all sort of works together as a tool to help you sort of develop your life. It's a personal development tool, basically, and that could be within your business, and that could be within emotions and relationships and work you need to do in our lives. We've all got a bit of work to do at some point. So so the next total eclipse is on the 25th of October. So that's in Scorpio season. So let's just have a look at those two flowers there. Now they're opposite one another within the the astrology sort of ring, as it were. And they're opposite each other. They're both fixed signs. But the funny thing is Taurus is 2/3 earth and 1/3 fire, whereas Scorpio is 2/3 water and 1/3 air. And when you can see this between these two signs here, where you have air, well, there on the lower parts of the petals in 1, 2, 3, 4 in Scorpio, you have fire in 1, 2, 3, 4 in Taurus, and where you have the earth, you have water in Taurus. So Scorpio and Taurus are very, very connected between these two signs. They do actually they're very complementary. And when you look at them as lovers, and when you invert the flowers upon one another, they do work really well. So, and the most interesting thing here is probably that earth, that air and fire. And what we can see is at the surface is the cardinal fire that comes in through Taurus, that comes from Aries, and the cardinal air that comes up through Scorpio, which comes from Libra. They're going in either sense to one another, and they sort of, one is a provocation from the exterior, that's Taurus, in the way of passions and etc. And then it's provoking ideas and mental stimulation, which comes up through Scorpio. So basically, on this partial eclipse, and it's to do with the root, and I would have thought it's going to be the lower petals that are going to be affected the most, you may get a situation where the passion of the eclipse that is coming up on the 30th of April is just like the starting gun. So it's like the first domino that falls before we can get to the whole big dominoes that actually do fall. And because we get from a partial to a total, and we have those lunar eclipses as well, the one on the May the 17th and November the 5th as well, just after the other one, it's like it's a beginning and an end date. So this, between the 30th of April going right through to the 5th of November, it's going to be interesting what sort of things are sort of instigated during this eclipse and how they follow all the way through to the eclipse that are coming up in October and the eclipse in November, which will be the finality of it all. Okay, so Scorpio used to be back in the days of Babylon and etc. Scorpio was actually a weighing machine. So you have the two claws of Scorpio, and you'd hold it by the tail, and you can weigh goods and what have you on it. So it's a little bit about judgment, and Scorpio and Libra were certainly signs that were made after we changed from a 10 to a 12-month period, and they were taken out of Virgo and Sagittarius. So it is a little bit about sort of judgment in a way. And Scorpios have certainly, they're very concerned with sort of human rights and that sort of things. So that could well have something to do with it on a global sort of sense. We did do world readings on what we were calling the Taurus event, and this could well be it. Although I was, inclined more to the May the 12th, this could well be the time when it actually sort of happens. So the moon with its 28-day cycle is just a reflection of the sun, because the sun's most perfect rotation section is 28.5 days. It's an average of 30.5 days. Now, once you take into the North Pole and the equator, which gives us our 30 days and 31 days of the Gregorian calendar. So, and that's why February is 28 days to respect the moon, and that comes with Aquarius, the human side, the washing away. Now, I did mention this in Cymatic TV as well, and you may want to go and see that when I did an energy update, and I was talking about a tsunami of water, like emotions that's going to be coming through. So you might want to go and have a look at that as well on our sister channel. So without further ado, let's get on with your reading, shall we, for this eclipse. And as I said, we'll be reading the eclipse reading from tarot cards, doing a full flower. And then there's a separate video coming out where you will be getting the monthly readings. So, because obviously it starts off with eclipse May, it sort of finishes April on the eclipse, and it's starting off May from that eclipse. So we're going to be going from one to the other. I will be separating this into two videos, which you will be able to get the link for the second one, which is the monthly one, where we will be at the end pulling 6 cards to just see what that 6-month period is between those two eclipses. So if you're ready, strap in. This is going to be a bit of a journey, and don't forget, this may not resonate for everybody. This is obviously a general reading, so please take it as it resonates with you. Certainly with the eclipse one, it's not personal, it's more of a guidance more than anything else. Okay.
Hello and welcome, Libra. So let's just see what's going on here. I was really worried about your reading, actually, to be honest. This is interesting. This is a different kettle of fish. Devil coming out. That's been coming out so many people. The Tower's been coming out and so many people. But over on the financial side, looks really bubbly for you, actually, to be honest. This is what the the eclipse is going to be bringing for you. And there's those swords. So swords has definitely been high on the register of a lot of people. And yeah, so this is your eclipse reading. So this is the emotional front and the relationship side and stuff like that. And then on this side, you got your physical or your material sort of side, financial sort of side, jobs, businesses, and that sort of thing. And this is the initiator. So this is the eclipse on the 30th that's initiating a change within the environment, I feel. It's, we did a world reading. It will be linked in the description below about this tower moment in Taurus season, which we thought was coming up, Tanya and myself, because just seeing all the readings and how they were actually reacting and happening. And it's certainly playing out on your relationship or your emotional sort of side. So the initiation that comes in through that is that tower moment, is that sort of wiping away things in the past that haven't actually, that used to serve you something but no longer serves you. So the Eight of Cups, walking away from something that no longer serves you. And this tower thing is that whole sort of thing of getting rid of past things that no longer have their purpose. And that it could come from the outside. It's definitely going to come from the outside because this is the eclipse. But what the eclipse is initiating here is maybe a realization that what you've been building in the past and concerns with your emotions and stuff like that no longer have its place in the new paradigm as we go forward. The devil, which has been coming up for so many people in this exact position here, is it may be a realization that you've gone to certain extremes that you didn't need to go to, or you got distracted a lot, or with temptations and stuff like that, because that's what the devil does. But it's sort of, I think it's sort of saying with the this devil here, it's actually sort of saying, look at all the choices that you do have and realize that some things are worth walking away from. And that could be a tower moment that's forcing you when it happens, when this it rocks the foundation of the human existence in a way. The eclipse does that, that sort of underlining sort of feeling. This is not a specific sort of reading. This is a general reading, so you've got to take it as it resonates with you. So it could be within your small community, as it much could be within the entire world. And what happens around us is going to affect the way in which we develop or which we grow emotionally through everything. And it's certainly on the relationship side and on the emotional sort of side. It's walking away from certain extremes that I think could be from outside you, but also could be within inside you. And you need to sort of define that. And when you do define that, you're going to put in place those healthy boundaries. The Nine of Wands, which is just sitting at the top there. So as you do sort of realize the tower that no longer serves you, and it's that wave of emotions that come through that we were talking about. I've been talking about on Cymatic TV. If you don't know anything about that, find the link in the description below. If you're coming back to the Astroflower, by the way, lovely to see you. Welcome back to the family. Family meeting going on at the moment on the Astroflower about this eclipse and monthly reading, which will be coming up next. If you're new to here, why not join the family? Click that subscription and the bell, and then you'll get full notifications for future readings. So this initial shock is going to make you put into place certain healthy boundaries, but it's also going to provoke you to go off on a journey, because that's what that boundaries was all about. They've marked out their territory. Now they're taking that staff and then wandering off and moving on. And what you've got up the top there is 2 Nine of Swords, which is amazing. Two nine of swords, two nine, sorry, one of wands and one of cups. There's no nine of swords on there, sorry. And so it's, if you do that, if you realise that certain things emotionally or relationship wise or community and stuff like that, that you've realised that doesn't actually give you the benefits, or you don't give them the benefits either. The fair exchange is not happening between either you and another person, or you and your family, you and your friends, your community and stuff like that. It's just seeing what extremes not worth having, therefore you can walk away from it. And it's going to take that initial shock in order for it to happen. And once it does happen, you're going to realise as you go on from those, with those new boundaries, those new healthy boundaries in place, that there's loads of abundance around you, and that there is a lot of things coming out of the whole eclipse things over the next 6 months, which we will be doing a reading at the end of the monthly reading, which will be coming up after this. You're going to realise that actually there's a lot of gifts coming your way. And initiating this change within you and seeing all those sort of extremes will allow you, and this tower moment will allow you to heal yourself and take time out to kind of go, oh, I don't have to worry about that anymore. Right? No, thank you. It's absolutely fine. You know, it's going to allow you to actually resource yourself, and that's what the eclipse is for you. Okay. Let's see what's happening on the financial sort of side, and this seems to be the most interesting thing, and this appears to be initiating a change, although by the looks of it, you know, Libra, you tend to be you've very got a high level of intuition, Librans. Let's be honest, you tend to sort of see what's coming around the corner, if anybody does. And you tend to be looking in front and using your consciousness in a way of exploring things. And certainly on the financial front, this may well be the case, because look what you've got. You've got the Knight of Pentacles, you've got the King of Wands, and you've got the Queen of Pentacles. That's a really powerful triangle going on there. The understanding of the initiation of a long-term journey, which is what this eclipse is doing. And it's a journey that's going to take 6 months to initiate and to come to fruition with the eclipse on the 25th of October. But you're going to be really passionate about this changing environment in the workplace or in business or in finances and stuff like that. And you're going to lead the way by the looks of it. If you go on in front of you, in ahead of you, you know, and lead the way, you're gonna feel a lot more secure about your surroundings. Sometimes the best defense is the offense, as they say. And this is a little bit like this with finances and money and stuff like that. You're going to have to get out there and get doing it and heading off down your path in order to feel that security within you. So if you want security, this is what you've got to do. You've got to head off. And if you head off, you're, you know, this changing aspect which is in the human society will give you that free pass, and that is what that Six of Swords is all about. It's helping you to go from one state to another, and as you do go from one state to another, you're going to have time out in order for you to heal, and it's putting away the things in the past that, you know, were causing you grief or pain or problems, which you're going to heal from, and you're going to realize what is worth it and what is not worth it. And that's what that tower moment's all about. So you may feel it more emotionally, this eclipse, than financially. And a lot of people have felt it financially at the moment, and you're one of those. In fact, you're the only one that's mainly just on the emotional sort of side of it. Okay, so as I say, we're going to do the monthly reading of May. So let's just start it off with the Eight of Swords. It's the return of the swords, is it? And the Four of Swords. You will be able to get this full reading here in the description below. There's a link to it, and I will see you for your monthly reading in May. I've had to separate the two because they are two very sort of different types of reading, but we're going to be reading them sort of together. So you go, you'll be able to find that link in the description below, and I will see you there, Libra. Okay? In the meantime, don't forget, life is fun, so just enjoy. Okay?